Debi Marshall Investigates Frozen Lies is an original series from the popular Hobart-based true crime writer who for more than 30 years has immersed herself in the minds and motives behind some of the worst atrocities in Australia's recent histories. In both media and publishing, she's known for her formidable investigative skills and her ability to bond with victims' families, convincing them to share their stories. And both are on view in this fascinating new series in which the formidable Marshall explores one of Australia's most sensational murders, the case of the lawyer in the freezer, as it was called when it occurred in 1979 Adelaide, then basking in the glow of trendy svelte new Premier Don Dunstan. Did babyface David Satch shoot his lover, high-flying criminal barrister Derrance Stevenson, in the back of the head and seal his body in the deep freeze in the kitchen of the oddly nautical house they shared in Parkside? It took police little time to apprehend and arrest David Satch, who had taken Stevenson's red Datsun and driven through the night to Cooper PD. Satch was quickly convicted based on evidence the murder had occurred while he had been present in the home at 189 Green Hill Road. Now, dying of motor neurone disease, Satch has enlisted the aid of new forensic techniques, proving the physical evidence used to convict him was irreparably flawed, to try as his final act to clear his name and have his conviction quashed. Enter Debi Marshall, who meets with Satch and agrees to help him with his search for exoneration, though she warns him that if she feels the conviction had been valid, that's the story she will tell. Marshall sets about researching the case, probing for holes in his story and checking what he said against official records of the case, then tracking down key players in the police investigation that led to his imprisonment.
I was really impressed by this. I was impressed by her. She's obviously, very bright.
Knows her stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting that she was motivated on this career path by the murder of her husband, which she investigated. And that's referred to in this.
Well, that's the other sort of strand in this in a way. It's interesting that we don't get that whole story in the first episode. We get it set up. Yeah. And that's obviously going to be an overlying dramatic arc that runs right through this series. Fascinating.
Well, and it's also interesting why Satch would want at this stage in his life, because he's got a family of his own, and you feel that that's the motivation for wanting this not to hover over the family for the rest of their lives. So there's the motivation. But what got me was that you get 14 years, only 14 years, for shooting someone in the back of the head and putting them in a freezer.
Well, that was Adelaide. They're very tolerant there. They're very nice people in Adelaide.
It doesn't seem very much to me.
It doesn't, does it?
But I found it forensically really interesting. She's so thorough and she's so real. She's a natural.
I think so. I think she's going to be a big star internationally in this genre.
That'd be great.
Be terrific. She's a really interesting, formidable presence.
Yeah.
And quite droll in her sort of hard-bitten way.
Yeah.
As well.
But you like her.
I mean,
that's the other thing. She's smart, she's real, and she's nice.
I'd use her if I'd committed a murder, like a shot. Get me out of this, damn.
Let's hope it's not necessary. All right, I'd give this 4.5 stars.
I'll give it 4.5 too, and that's a very good job.
Like, how does a high school dropout end up with a high-flying legal in the first place?
He just approached me on the basis that I'd be really good to photograph as a model if I'd be interested.
What did 3 crucial witnesses see at the house on the night of the murder?
What was in the garbage bag?
Nobody knows.
What was in the attaché case?
Nobody knows.